This is Franchise Today, brought to you by FRM Solutions, providers of the best-in-class software solutions for franchise relationship management. Franchise Today is your destination for weekly information, conversations, and interviews with accomplished industry leaders, all of whom share best practices for sustainable growth and sensible franchising. Here now, your host, Stan Friedman, to kick off this week's podcast.
Today is Wednesday, March 12th. 2025. I'm Stan Friedman, and this is a very special edition of Franchise Today. This week, we break with our usual format and feature not one, but many voices, 25 to be exact, each of whom will share their thoughts and perceptions about the impact that Donald Trump's decisive win in November has already had on franchising and what they see ahead with this change in administration. This question was posed on the floor of the IFA convention last month in Las Vegas to these 25 professionals. With all personal feelings and biases aside, the question was, as a franchise pro, what have you already observed and what do you see coming? We'll kick things off with Terry Kelm, president of Sunbelt Franchise Resales, followed by Frank Fiume, host and producer of the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. Next up, we'll hear from Nate Greenberg of counsel to Spadea Linanya and also a valuation expert at Siegel Financial Group. Following Nate, we'll hear from one of the most interesting men in franchising, Moran Family of Brands president and Whiskey Wednesday king, Pete Baldine, who will be followed by Tony Harris Taylor, CEO of Drastic Results Marketing and Sales Coaching, who also doubles as a Network in Action franchisee in Houston, Texas, and as the executive director and visionary for newly formed Global Multicultural Franchise Connections. Following Tony, we'll hear from Michael Barnett, co-founder and CEO at Romp and Roll, veteran franchise advisor Joe Bordeaux, newly minted IFA chairwoman and BNI CEO Mary Thompson. Then comes Nick Lopez, emerging franchisor of Lime Painting, and the first tranche is rounded out by franchise compliance specialist Marianne O'Connell, Remarkable Brands CEO Jeff Goodman, and Dan Monahan, founder of WSI, CEO of Clear Summit Group, immediate past chair of the IFA Foundation's Board of Trustees, and current IFA Foundation William Rosenberg Award winner. So stick around. We'll get this show on the road on the other side of a very quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Franchise Today will be right back, but first, a word from our sponsors.
Franchise Today is brought to you by Profit Keeper, the #1 franchise analytics platform for franchisors and franchisees. Trusted by more than 150 brands and 50,000 franchisees, Profit Keeper connects KPI, benchmark, and royalty data from your locations, groups, and territories. With Profit Keeper, you see stats in real time, presented simply and graphically. This makes it easy to identify actionable information for franchisees to help them drive profitability and brand growth at the unit level. No more wrangling data and guessing what works and what doesn't. To learn more and to get started, visit profitkeeper.com/franchise today. Okay, so here we go. Remember, all personal opinions or biases aside, my question to these franchise pros is what impact has the outcome of the presidential election already had on franchising, and what do you see ahead? Let's go.
Hi, I'm Terry Kelm. I'm the president of Sunbelt Franchise Resales. We're a company that helps franchisors with their resales. And while the results are early, I will say the results are definite. We had the election results in early November. We had our interest rate cut in September and another one right after the election in November. And what that has done is it sent both buyers and sellers to the table. Buyers are realizing that even though the interest rates are still high, they are coming down and they can always refinance. So buyers are definitely more engaged and looking to buy businesses again. And I think we had a lot of sellers that were sitting on the fence waiting to see what was going to happen with the election and the interest rates. And I think they got a glimmer of hope with both results. And so our first quarter so far, the first 7 weeks, has been absolutely crazy. We've had more seller leads in the last 7 weeks than I had probably in the last 4 months of 2024. So I just think that the whole resale market is definitely percolating at this point in time.
Frank Fiume, Emerging Franchise Brands podcast host. I think what it's done is it's given people they've been inspired, and it's given people hope. And I think by having hope and inspiration, it's going to allow franchisors and people throughout the franchise community to want to be able to create again and to be able to start innovating. And when people have uncertainty and fears in the market, you just kind of batten down the hatches and you just kind of don't want to do anything. You don't know what to do and you're scared. And I think in recent times now, it's given people an opportunity to say, hey, you know what, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
This is Nate Greenberg. I'm of counsel to Spadia Lignana. I also own my own business consulting and business valuation firm called Siegel Financial Group. The election has brought about a opening up of business optimism, whereas in the fourth quarter, things had really slowed down, not just in franchising, but overall. In the first quarter of this year, everything seems to be ramping up. A lot of optimism, a lot of business leaders getting off the sidelines, and I'm excited to participate.
My name is Pete Baldine. I'm president of Moran Family of Brands, and we are in the automotive space with multiple brands like Mr. Transmission, Milex Complete Auto Care, and Turbo Tint. So we did see some slowdown in the fall on the franchise development side in terms of people being a bit cautious about making decisions, and fall was a little bit soft, as I heard from just about everybody. And January came around, and it's like the gas pedal is to the floor. It's been crazy. We've had multiple signings, new franchisees coming on board, and people have really loosened up with making their decisions. And I hope it keeps up for the rest of the year. It's been a wild ride so far in the first 6 weeks of the year, and if it continues, we're going to have a great year.
Hi, my name is Tony Harris Taylor. I wear many hats. I'm the CEO and founder of Drastic Results Marketing and Sales Coaching, where I work with franchisors to teach their franchisees networking skills. I'm also a franchisee with Network in Action, and I'm the new executive director and visionary for the Global Multicultural Franchise Connectors. And so there's a lot going on, and I'm excited to be here. So since the election, we've seen DEI initiatives collapsed, and it will trickle down to private sector. And for me, being an African American woman, I actually feel like there's a lot of opportunity to be able to bring more people of color into franchising. Many will be losing their jobs and losing their contracts, and they're going to be looking for their next thing to do. So I feel like it's a great opportunity for franchising.
Michael Barnett, co-founder and CEO of Romp and Roll. Since the election, we have seen lead generation increase about 25% for the past 2 months. I think we're going to continue to see that trend continue through the rest of this year as potential franchisees get excited about what's happening in franchising and the economy in general.
My name is Joe Bordeaux. These days I am retired from my corporate job, but continue to work in franchising with several different national franchise brands as well as suppliers. As of this specific date, sitting here in Las Vegas in February of 2025, it's a period, I think, of great national uncertainty. Generally speaking, uncertainty is not good. There needs to be a certain degree of certainty for long-term planning, but I do expect that what we're experiencing right now will begin to smooth out.
So I'm Mary Thompson. I'm the CEO of BNI, the world's largest business referral networking organization with about 337,000 members. And I would say since the election, there is an optimism that we can get some things done, that we can help everybody. I really think franchising transcends politics, frankly, and that we can help everybody understand what a constituency we are, that we are here because we really are the voice of Main Street. And I'm optimistic, I'm very bullish about franchising this year. We're going try to get that message across to the public, to our lawmakers, and to people to understand that we create more jobs than just about any other industry. And first of all, I would tell you, almost everything I learned in franchising, I learned at the heels of the great, and those are the people that are walking the halls here. And so every time I come, I leave with really good, actionable information that I can take and use to better my business. Franchising has been so good to me over these last 30 years, and it's such an important part of what we do that I really felt like it was time for me to give back. And at BNI, we say givers gain, give first, and so it's really my honor to get to serve as the chair of the IFA this year. It's a great time.
Thank you, Mary.
Dan.
My name is Nick Lopez. I'm the founder of Lime Painting. And my thoughts on the impact of the election on franchising is that it created confidence in the marketplace. And specifically in franchising, created clarity around the golden era of franchising. Personally, I've seen so much excitement around thought leaders and innovators in the space because of the current administration. And as a result, so many folks are leading in accordance, and this is shaping up to be a growth year, at least initiatives and infrastructure to do so. And there's clearly a lot of optimism around different regulations and whatnot that are coming that are favorable to free enterprise, the marketplace, profitability, and all of that is good for franchising. You know, the space has matured so much, there's so much clarity around franchise relations and what creates value and impact in the community. Franchising is a tremendous growth vehicle to do good in communities, and the clarity here in this administration and the timing of franchising in its current state, it is certainly shaping up the golden era of franchising.
This is Marianne O'Connell. I'm president of FranWise. We're a franchise consulting company that focuses on compliance with your franchise agreement and your operations, and we write manuals. I think the impact that the election has had on franchising is yet to be seen. I feel that what we're experiencing is very much what's happening in the country. It's a wait and see. When you get a flurry of executive orders and they're all being challenged, we're still in flux. So I think we need to see when the grandstanding on both parties ends and we see where the dust settles, then we'll know what the true effect is. But it does look like it'll be a much more business-friendly administration.
Jeff Goodman with Remarkable Brands Group. So I think I think in franchising, by and large, people love clarity, and people invest in a franchise. They get involved with franchising because they trust what they're saying. They trust that the franchisor that they're investing in and what have you has their best interest in heart. And anything that creates uncertainty or doubt or lack of clarity of the things that are out of their control but they can reasonably predict, I think those things give people moments of pause. So I think that with the election behind us, with a little bit more business-friendly climate that we can reasonably predict coming forward throughout 2025, I think what that's doing for a lot of franchise investors is just giving clarity. It's allowing them to have a little trust and confidence to know that now is a good time to invest, that the government is going to support a very business-friendly climate where we can do what we all are so passionate about in the world of franchising, which is invest in businesses, grow our companies, but give people jobs and help people become really highly satisfied and profitable franchisees. So I love the clarity, I love the direction, and quite frankly, we're seeing the results of it right now because people are building confidence and trust that the future is a bright one.
My name's Dan Monahan. I'm the founder of WSI, which I founded about 30 years ago. And since then, we've built a network of franchisees around the world, built about 500,000 websites. And today I'm also the founder of Clear Summit Group. So it's a platform company of 7 brands, mostly in the service industry, and the past chair of the IFA Foundation.
And the current award winner of the Rosenberg Award this year.
It's true, very humbling. So
congratulations.
Yeah,
man.
thank you. So a couple of years ago, we at WSI we leaned heavily into AI. So our mission is to unlock hidden possibilities within businesses, helping them reduce their costs, increase their revenues, find new customers. And one of the best ways to do that is through leveraging AI. So a couple of years ago, we started leaning heavily into that, and to a point where we have built systems to do about 85% of all of our client delivery through AI today. So as you can imagine, that's had a huge impact on the unit economics, and it's a real wave for our franchisees to surf. And so speaking of November 5th, there was a lot of uncertainty in the US as it related to AI. Whether it was crypto, I mean, there was a whole series of AI regulations that were being discussed. We have a much higher level of clarity now in terms of where the US stands on AI, how businesses can unlock hidden profitability within them. The next wave in AI is going to be agents, and it's really timely that we have an administration that's given business leaders clarity around what AI is all about. David Sachs is the new AI and crypto czar, and so we're really happy with what this means for the economy more broadly. Where our Canadian dollar has taken a hit. It's been on a downward trajectory for quite a while, so I encourage all of my American friends to come up for a discount vacation north of the border.
Well, how about that? Quite an eclectic and powerful collection of franchise talent. And the second tranche is every bit as compelling. It's coming your way straight ahead. But first, a quick timeout. Stick around. We've got plenty more to go.
Franchise Today will be right back. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Franchise Today is brought to you by FRM Solutions, offering the only CRM tool built exclusively for franchising that lets you have it your way. Whether you're a single brand needing professional tools across departments or a portfolio of brands needing franchise-specific CRM across the enterprise. Either way, FRM satisfies the needs of many with the power of one. That's right, one single instance of FRM is all it takes across departments or across brands. So if you've had it with inflexible, one-size-fits-all CRM, end your frustration today. FRM offers robust dashboarding, tailored reporting, and with open APIs, FRM pushes, pulls, and integrates with other databases, providing you with a single source of truth. Don't just take my word for it. Visit them at frmsolutions.com and order up a demo today. And we're back to kick off the second cohort with AtmosphereTV's Mike Kelly, Outreach Genius founder and CEO David Owassi, veteran restaurant and franchise executive Dave McDougal, David Rawnsley, president of RobeksJuice, IFA legend Steve Greenbaum, PR pro Monica Feid. Then Peter Holt comes our way. Following Peter will be franchise advisor, entrepreneur, and podcaster Erik Van Horn, SMB Franchise Advisors Chief Marketing Officer Don Abbamondi, emerging franchisor, Franchise Today rising star, and self-professed food geek Erin Fletter comes next. Then Franchise Speakers Chief Matchmaker Katrina Mitchell, Franchise Speakers featured speaker, an AI guru, Ford Sakes. And then to put the icing on the cake for Group 2, IFA President and CEO Matt Haller.
I'm Nancy Estep-Critchett with Blue Rock Executive Search. My firm specializes in just executive recruiting in the franchise space. I've been doing that for about 30 years. And I would say definitely from the time of the election now, the difference I see is a huge uptick in commitment to searches. As a matter of fact, I think we've launched 10 new executive searches just in the last 30 days. And, August through October was really slow with the uncertainty with the election. So wherever your politics lands, it doesn't matter. It's been good for franchising, which the way the wind is blowing right now. I would say moving forward, the one thing that people have to understand, I think, especially at the really senior level and with the large firms that are buying franchise companies, the return to office is a real thing. I actually just wrote an article about last week. The people who drank the Kool-Aid that that's the way it's always going to stand since COVID, they're going to be left in the dust, because I think a lot of people are realizing that the return to office is an important thing, especially for emerging brands having the core team together and in a really collaborative nature. It's the way it's always been. And it's interesting, the last several PE firms that hired us to find brand presidents and even senior executives on their team are looking for people to be back in the office. So I think that's a big thing that a lot of organizations are kicking and screaming and not accepting it, but it's the way it is.
I'm Mike Kelly. I'm Senior Director of Partnerships at AtmosphereTV. What I've seen changing since the election, so it's obviously been an interesting few years. I think a lot of people since COVID were kind of waiting on the sidelines to take advantage of some of the opportunities they may have seen in the franchising space. I think optimism is back for a lot of folks. I'm seeing a lot of businesses go a little bit leaner than they may have in the past and just operate a little bit more strategically, because it felt like during those COVID times people were getting a little reckless with some of the cash they may have been receiving and the things that they were doing. So it seems like people are tightening it back up, which is exciting to see, and kind of refocusing on the customer experience.
My name is David Owassi, founder of OutreachGenius. We are a software company that helps franchise owners monetize the leads that they have sitting in their CRM and collecting dust. So what has changed since the election? I wouldn't say much has changed, more so that technology, specifically AI, is changing how people are thinking about businesses and how they're thinking about deploying their resources.
I'm Dave McDougal. I'm the Vice President of Strategic Partnerships for We Sell Restaurants. Really, since the election, we've certainly seen an uptick in sales, actually a pretty significant uptick, and a lot of enthusiasm with people wanting to get into the restaurant space or add to their current portfolios.
Yeah, my name is David Rawnsley. I'm president of RobeksJuice. We're a 100-plus unit juice smoothie acai bowl chain across 13 states. We also offer a line of premium toasts, including avocado and some nut butter toasts. I will say that in terms of seeing concrete actions as a result of the recent change in our presidency, I've not seen it. However, there's just a feeling in the air that things are different, that it's an administration that's more economic friendly and in particular more franchise friendly.
I'm Steve Greenbaum. I am the founder of HostNet and former CEO. I also serve on several boards in the franchise industry. I'm a past IFA chairman and have recently launched a brand myself called Tootle Transport in the wheelchair accessible transportation industry. I believe the impact of the election and the outcome of the election has been very positive for franchising. I believe it's been positive because people are generally optimistic about not only the economy, but perhaps some of the changes that are being made. I would say we're cautiously optimistic because obviously some of these changes are unprecedented by our new president. But in my opinion, the companies I work with, the brands I support, are overall optimistic and looking forward to 2025 and beyond.
Good to be here. It's Monica Feid. I'm the Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of BizCom Associates, and we are celebrating our 25th anniversary all year long. We are a marketing agency that supports franchisors, mostly on the FranDev side of the house. I think everybody we were all ready to launch into a new year post-election. Gosh, those words just sound beautiful to me. Everybody has to pause for a second, see how things were going to move forward. And, every new year, regardless of who's in the White House, this industry is just off and running. And that speaks so well to what franchising means to small business in America, period.
I'm Peter Holt. I am I've been building and managing franchise systems now for over 38 years. And that most recently I was the CEO of The Joint Chiropractic. I left that a couple of months ago, and it was a franchise concept publicly held that had about 1,000 units. Obviously, you have a president that's making all kinds of massive changes in a way, some ways that expected, and that this is what he said he would do when he was running for election, but I don't think a lot of people were expecting that to happen so quickly. And so specifically, if you think about the franchise industry, that so much of it is QSR, so much of it is controlling cost of goods. And with these tariffs that are going to be coming, because this is his favorite word, Trump's favorite word, that all of a sudden if so much of the food that we import from Mexico is going to have a 25% tariff, and we know that will be passed on to the buyer and then to the consumer, that's going to impact food cost of goods for a lot of organizations. We're all building, typically most franchise systems have, storefronts, so they're building out their system. And so what do they have? They need wood, they need supplies, and so we get so much of that lumber from the Canadian market. And so all of a sudden, if we're seeing the cost of that construction significantly go up because of the tariffs, that's going to impact franchising. On development, I think that, again, it will have a positive impact on development because people have to feel secure when they're taking their life savings and put it on the line to invest it in a business. They have to feel like they're setting everything up for success. And so whenever you introduce uncertainty into the future, will we end up with higher inflation because of some of these actions? Will we have other challenges that we face? There's so many challenges you would never anticipate. Some of the things we're talking about, you can. And so when you introduce uncertainty into the thinking of a person who's interested in investing in a business, it typically puts a pause because you don't want to commit until you can see that, okay, this is safe, it'll be okay. I can handle whatever these changes that are being suggested or implemented. And so now there's more certainty in the sense that we know we have Trump for 4 years.
Hey, I'm Erik Van Horn. I have a company called Front Street Equity Partners. We help franchise brands create and grow enterprise value in a compressed time frame. The impact that the election has had on franchising, from what I've seen, is brought more energy to franchisees and franchisors. I saw a lot of people sitting on the sidelines, franchisees and franchisors, and it seems like there's an uptick in people that are looking at buying franchises, and franchisors seem to just be more positive, and I think franchisees are more positive, kind of understanding that the election's behind us now, and some of the policy changes that are probably going to be coming are helping franchisees wanting to put more money, time, investment into their businesses to grow their businesses. And I think we're going to see more expansion of current franchisees going into more units and growing.
Hi there, I'm Dawn Abbamondi. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer with SMB FranchiseAdvisors. We help founders, business owners prepare, launch, and grow in franchising. My impression of what happened in the fall of 2024 with the election and the changeover with the presidency has been a shift just in people not hesitating anymore. I think that all of 2024 with the election in their minds and the media and everything since COVID, it just, people took a pause and they didn't make decisions. And not to say that everybody held off, but already we have seen people looking forward to just doing what they want to do with their life and making the change that they've decided to enter into franchising, whether it's been to franchise their business or become a franchise owner. And so I am extremely optimistic for the remainder of this year and what this new administration means just from the perspective of that, the change.
Hi, I'm Erin, Fletter. I am the founder, CEO, and more importantly, food geek in chief of Sticky Fingers Cooking. We're an after-school enrichment program based in schools. And what I've seen since the election in the franchise industry, as far as our space, is that we are getting more people coming to our website, organically finding us, and people ready to start their own business. I think that the last year was really taken up with a lot of conversation and noise about the political situation in our country, and that people are now looking ahead and looking forward and seeing what they can do to better their lives. And we're very optimistic about 2025.
I'm Katrina Mitchell. I'm the Chief Matchmaker and CEO of Franchise Speakers. We are the only speakers bureau in the world that focuses on the franchise sector. And what I'm seeing now at this particular time is a level of cautious optimism in that people who are holding off making a decision on holding an annual franchise convention or investing in outside talent and creating a wow experience for their franchisees. They're stepping up now, they're making their plans, and we're moving forward in supporting these franchise systems, franchisees, these organizations through the franchise conventions. And that's only a small piece of the franchise world, but it's a piece that I am engaged in every day.
Hi, this is Ford Sakes, Business Growth Accelerator and Franchise Keynote Speaker. You know, when I think about the opportunities for us after November 5th and what the landscape looks like, there are a lot of people that are closed-minded versus open-minded. So for anybody listening to this right now, regardless of your level of politics, I would say be open-minded, be coachable, focus on what you can control, which is your attitude, your allocation time, and the actions. And so yes, I know there's external forces going on, but all of us as business owners or executives, any role that you have to look at what you can control and focus on that. And so there's so many opportunities in local markets for franchisees to help build better experiences with your customers, as well as if you're a franchisor, to provide better experiences for your franchisees.
Hey there, it's Matt Haller, President and CEO of the International Franchise Association. Since November 5th, there's been a wind at the sails of the franchise community as a result of the elections. A lot of uncertainty is behind us. Regulations have been cut back. Now we're getting to work on solving the joint employer issue once and for all, putting this thing to bed, extending current tax rates so we don't see a large tax increase at the end of 2025. And more than anything, just making 2025 the greatest year for franchising ever.
Many thanks to our sponsors, Profit Keeper and FRM Solutions, for making this podcast possible, and again to FRM for providing the space at the exhibit hall booth to capture these voices and bring this very special episode to you. Well, that's a wrap for today. Next week, we're joined by Stephanie Coppage, CEO of Gideon Math and Reading Franchise, and our Q1 for 2025 Rising Star of Franchising, right here on Franchise Today. Until then, I'm Stan Friedman, wishing you the best, the very best of all things franchising, and Franchise Today is out.
Franchise Today is a production of FRM Solutions, providing best-in-class CRM tools to empower relationships with prospective and existing franchisees. Find them online at frmsolutions.com. Join Stan every Wednesday at noon Eastern for another episode of Franchise Today.